Now let's look at Etude 93. This etude will primarily be the source of elimination for those not being passed on to the next round of the All-State auditions. Key and fingering patterns are the primary concern with this etude. Become familiar with playing in D-flat major. Practice scales, practice scale patterns. Start slow, quarters. Then go to eighth, then 16th. You also might want to try playing scale patterns in thirds. Things like that. The next thing I want to think about is what's the best way to get through a lot of these passages? Well, we do have a double horn. We have an F side and a B flat side. A lot of times we can get a lot of mileage by relying on the B flat horn. So what I say to my students, sometimes the B flat horn can be your best friend. This etude's really a handful with regards to fingerings. Let me demonstrate. We have a lot of cross fingerings. If we play in the normal fashion, we have cross fingerings where the third and the first finger, and sometimes even with the second, cross like this, and we have very fast motion, and sometimes it's very difficult to play clean. It's really hard to get that really solid. I know I'm playing it cold, but still it's pretty rough. Now if we rely on B flat horn for a lot of this, it's a lot easier. Notice that I had very little finger motion compared to so if we rely on the B flat horn to eliminate these awkward passages, it's going to be a lot easier for us. Let me demonstrate the open passage, first with normal fingerings and then with the alternate fingerings using the B flat horn. Now, let's look at the B flat horn and some special fingerings that I use along with that. So forth. What I was doing on the very opening is engaging the B flat horn. The F is open, G flat is 1 and 2. The A flat, I use an alternate fingering. Instead of second and third, I can use second finger, just like the octave A flat in the last exercise. And then your B flat is first finger. So the 16ths are open, 1 and 2, 2, 1. And then when I get to the A flat, F, D flat, I can play those three notes on trigger 2 and 3. And then I'd go back to my normal fingerings. The next thing I want to talk about is the second line into the third and the fourth measure. What I was talking earlier about these cross fingerings going A flat to F. You can play A flat and F, second and third on the B flat horn. Then I'd go back to my normal F horn fingerings on the G flat to the E flat. Both are second finger. And then the D flat major arpeggio, the next measure, back to trigger 2 and 3. So you have now you will notice a little bit of resistance or bumpiness when you go back to the F horn for beat 3 in the third bar, but you'll get over that and it'll make a smooth transition. Practice fingering with a metronome. Make your valve work like clockwork. So once you establish a tempo, so forth like that. Make your valve motion like a machine. Start slow and use a metronome, and then gradually get it faster and faster, and then when it's close to tempo, then add you blowing into the instrument. So if I put the metronome on, and I'm putting this at the beat about 90, which is hopefully where you're going to be, and practice fingering in tempo. Okay, so forth. You understand what I'm doing. Now, another thing that you can do to help alleviate the burden of this, especially in this second section, getting into line 3, going metronome again. Once you get the fingerings established and the finger rhythm, then work with it slurred. Then after that, it's just a matter of putting the tongue in with the fingers. One other thing that I do recommend is the pickups, the 16th pickups getting into line 4, is play this passage on the B flat horn. That way, that was the F side. It's a little bumpy, a little stuffy. It responds a little bit more clean on the B flat horn. But the problem is that C, that middle C, when you bump down. Like that last time, it wasn't that clean because I didn't scoot the air out of the backside of the E flat going down to the C. But then when I do that, it cleans it up nicely. So you have to make sure that the wind remains active. I'm doing a lot of this on the fly, so I'm not as accurate as I probably should be in these demonstrations, but you get the general idea. Let's see what this is like when we put this all together.